Hey everyone, welcome to the ChuggieBets NFL podcast. We're going to talk about winners, how to make some more money, but first, we're going to chug a beer. Let's go.
Cheers.
Who's ready to chug some beers and make some bad gambling picks? Welcome to ChuggieBets.
Wins. Well, I want to start this podcast off by saying, hey, thank you for everyone who helps us, supports us, hits the 5 stars, subscribes, likes. We appreciate it. Please keep doing that. Ring those bells. Give us those downloads and those listens because we need them, right? Someone's got to pay for the beer, and hopefully it's you guys. I'm joined today by Andy up top, Al in the corner, Danny to the side of me, and we got some record results from last week. So in the NFL, Al went 3-3, but one is Chuggy. Andy went 4-2, one is Chuggy. Danny went 2-2, one is Chuggy. I went 4-2, lost my Chuggy. But hey, as a team, we're over 500. That's pretty damn good. You guys should be rich by now. What are you doing not listening to us? Before we get into the games, is there anything we learned last week? Andy, did you learn anything watching the NFL this week?
I learned that it's very important to follow the concussion protocols and that a lower back injury can look suspiciously like a concussion. Al, what about you? Did you learn anything?
Gives you those jello legs.
Yeah.
We've all been there, right? One thing I learned is when it's my birthday, fade all the teams I like. It was a bad fourth weekend for me. Good birthday, though.
It was. Danny?
I learned when I'm on a heater live betting, I should keep on going and not listen to my brother.
Absolute smoker. Danny was cleaning up on the live bets. I think he went 7-1, 8-0, just absolute fireball.
14-4. And one of those 4 was Al told me to take the over in that Sunday night game. So 14-3 on my own picks.
Danny, I've learned that listening to your brother is a bad life choice just in general.
I think actually we've all probably had a situation where we listened to something Austin told us to that we probably shouldn't have.
It does tend to get me in trouble. It's a whole lot of fun, but it does get me in trouble.
Yeah. This time he told me not to take the Colts plus 600. I ended up getting him at plus 300. So
I learned, and I'm going to reverse this in a second, that I got to stop betting Vegas. Las Vegas has killed me in like every consecutive week. I was so cocky last week against Tennessee, but maybe I'm doing it again. Find out more in a minute. So Andy and I have winning records, and we all win our Chuggy bets. So we all get to give out drinks. I didn't win my Chuggy bets, so do I not get to give out drinks?
You don't get to give out. Actually, we should all just tell Matt to drink 3 different times this.
All right. Okay. So 4-2.
Matt sloppy.
Okay, I just want to make sure I clear this up. I don't get to tell anyone to chug. Everyone else gets to tell someone to chug, correct?
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Unless somebody win? No, the one person who won. Who won?
No, Matt
and I both went
though.
4-2. We tied for the
Okay,
best
so
record.
everybody gets to tell somebody to chug. Yeah, Matt.
Well, then I should get 2. I should get 2 then.
It's gonna get real fun.
No, it's
The
fine.
Chuggy bet winners get to tell people to chug. All right.
No, also the person who wins. We've always done the person who wins. So everybody gets to tell someone.
All right,
and if Andy really wants to do 2, he can do 2. But I only have 2 beers here, so that's what you guys got options for. I can get up and get another if you need me to.
I think we should just pretend to redo the intro 3 times and all just chug 3 beers back to back.
And then see how the podcast goes.
Yeah, sounds like a bad idea.
Exactly.
I had to do so much editing last week.
So bad. But we appreciate you guys liked it. We crushed it, right? We did make a lot of money. We sounded terrible. Made a lot of money. Let's start off on Thursday night. The 3-0 Miami Dolphins are going to the land of Skyline Chili for a game on Thursday versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a 3.5-point favorite, and the number's 47.5. Andy, what you got?
So I'm taking the under 47.5, and there's a bunch of things that go into it. First off, it's a Thursday night short week. Those tend to be lower scoring on the Thursday night games. Also, Cincinnati's offense has not looked the same as it did at the end of last year when they were really firing on all cylinders. They looked a little bit better this week, but that's because they were playing the Jets.
Sorry, Joey.
Yeah, sorry, but the first 2 weeks they looked abysmal, and so I'm thinking that the step forward might have more to do with the Jets than the Bengals. And then Miami has a really good defense, which we've showed by almost completely shutting down the Bills this past weekend. They had a lot of yards, but we didn't let them in the end zone. And I think Miami's offense has shown us that they're only going to open up the playbook when they have to. Right? They've been pretty vanilla. They have another gear they can get into, which is a very welcome change from the Dolphins of the past 20 years. But they don't just put it in fifth gear all the time. They kind of wait and see if it's needed. So I think if Cincinnati doesn't score a lot, Miami keeps it close to the vest, and we go under pretty easily here.
I think that McDaniel spends the first 3 quarters setting all that stuff up, and then he purposely gets in 3rd and 22 so that he could throw a 65-yard waddle. He knows that Tua has that in the chamber, man. Tua's he's the best quarterback in the game. I think we can all agree that Tua is the best quarterback in the game. We don't want Tua not against us.
So what's confusing to me is his name is Tua, but he wears number 1.
That's because he's number 1. That's because he's number 1.
He's currently number 1 in QBR in the NFL too, which is mind blowing. Like big brain, him and God, it's escaping me. The quarterback in Philadelphia have been absolutely
Hurts. The 2016 national championship quarterbacks or whatever it was.
Those 2 Alabama quarterbacks who were on the same team, the co-national championship starting quarterbacks, were very, very good.
Bryce Young, buy low. Andy, one thing I have to say about that total play of yours is I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to look like a really good play for a half of football, and then it's going to look really ugly.
Yeah, I'm obviously gonna watch this game, and I'm gonna have like 100 live bets on this game, but I'm taking the Dolphins plus 3.5 because I think so. Tua tricked the concussion protocol to come back in the game, which is shocker because I've been questioning his toughness for a while with his pinky injury and everything, but he literally tricked them into thinking it was a back injury when we all saw what we saw. So congrats, Tua. You're tougher than I thought. And obviously we needed them with I thought Tua's arm was weak, but Bridgewater out there throwing duck farts. I mean, I like Teddy Bridgewater, man, and I love seeing him on the sideline of the Northwestern game, coaching him up and everything. But dropping back and throwing the ball, not the best. But go ahead, Al.
Nothing makes QB1 look good more than QB2 getting playing time.
Yeah, especially when QB1 can make the kind of throws that Tua's been making the last couple weeks. But my other plays are going to be like the first quarter under. I feel like this is a huge first quarter under, and likely the first half under, depending on what the numbers come in at.
I was just going to ask, what do you think the first half under is in a game of 47.5? Is it 21.5?
It'll be a little over 21.5. I think the first quarter under is only going to be like 7.5 though. So, but I'm still going to take the under.
I like the under 21.5 in the first half, and I love the under first quarter too. I think that's good. All right, let's go across the pond. We are going to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for this one. 9:30 a.m. kickoff from London. We got the Vikings on the road to New Orleans' second stadium. I have a play here, guys. 9:30 a.m. is early, right?
Yes.
Kirk Cousins is really good if it's not prime time, right?
Yes.
So if he's playing at 9:30 and he's usually pretty good at 1, he's going to be exceptional at 9:30 a.m., right? Because that's perfect church. He's going to have his buttons.
He seems like the kind of guy who gets up very early in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's already mowed the lawn, even though kids were sleeping, and it's 6:15 in the morning because he's an asshole. No. All things, let's be serious here. I think Minnesota's the better team. Jameis is hurt, and you can clearly see he's hurt. He's got like 4 broken vertebrae. Can't throw the ball down the field. Kamara is throwing the ball to the defense. I don't think New Orleans is particularly good, and I think Minnesota hasn't played up to their standard. I think week 1 may have been too good. I think last week, sorry, Al, they probably didn't play as well as they should have. So I think this may be a get-right spot. The only thing that's curious to me is it being in London. If it was in Minnesota, I'd feel a lot better about it. But I think it's worthwhile rolling the dice. getting Justin Jefferson back right and getting 2.5 here. I may also think about the under. I don't know what the number is, but I feel like these London games usually go pretty low.
I didn't like the Minnesota play when I was thinking this game was in the Superdome. It being in London, I like it a lot more. So yeah, I think that's probably the right side. Also, I don't know historically, but I'm pretty sure London games go under at like an insane clip, so that might be something to look at.
Yeah. Especially if it's in Tottenham, they actually go over more often. I'd like Son to score at plus 140.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, Harry Kane's gonna get a penalty in like the 88th minute.
All
Over.
All right, Andy, you have something?
I'm going to look at this as a teaser spot potentially. Right now it's 2.5. So if you tease New Orleans with a 6-point teaser, it brings you up to plus 8.5. Especially, games with low totals, the points are more valuable. And the nice thing about this is you could potentially, I'm not saying you should, but you could potentially follow Matt and myself, and you could win both potentially. That's a fun one to root for. That nice little sandwich spot where you win both. It's impossible to lose both, but you could win both potentially. So look at that as a teaser.
That's aggressive. I like it. Let's go to the A. We got the Browns coming in, facing the Dirty Birds. Don't have a line on this. I know, Andy, you have a thought on the teaser, right?
Yeah, it's the exact same thing as the last one. I'm going to tease Atlanta up to plus 8.5 and hope that they keep it close. It's just another good teaser spot. I don't necessarily think that Atlanta's the better team, but I think they've played pretty decent football in all of their games so far, and so I believe that they have a chance to keep it close. So I'll be teasing this one up.
Yeah. I like that.
2.5. Also, it's another one of those 2.5.
Yeah, Cleveland.
It was last time I looked.
Yeah, yep. I definitely like them a whole lot at 8.5. I don't like them a whole lot at 2.5. So
yeah, I think it's hard to beat a Marcus Mariota-led Falcons team by more than a touchdown.
They've been. Yeah, I mean, I liked watching the end of that game last week.
I did too. I was impressed with Atlanta. I was more impressed than I thought I would be. It was the first game I'd watched. They looked good. They looked better than I expected against a depleted Seattle side.
So, Danny, in our week 1 podcast, I said that Marcus Mariota looked better in preseason than I expected him to, and you almost fell out of your chair laughing. So I think this is a good opportunity for you to apologize to me for that.
Andy, I'm sorry, but there's actually a better way for you to rub things in my face on this podcast.
That's true. Why don't you chug a beer there, Dano? I don't like giving mine out. I don't like giving mine out first because then you can retaliate. I gotta hold those in the chamber.
While he's chugging a beer, let's go to what looks like the premier game in the AFC this weekend. We got Buffalo going into Baltimore to face the Lamar Jackson. Al, you got to play on this, right?
Yeah, I'm laying 3.5 with Buffalo. It's easy. And the Ravens are good, right? I'm not saying they're not. They beat a bad Jets team. They choked away a victory to the Dolphins in the epic fourth quarter, fallout. And then they managed to scrape out a decent victory against the Patriots in New England last week. They're hosting.
They won by 11. Like 15 points or something.
11 on like a late garbage touchdown. And then
you covered for me, and they covered the 5.5 I had live at plus 150. Anyway, go
on. But Buffalo's fucking really good. They got a better defense. They've got the better offense. And I think Lamar Jackson, is not that he shrinks in like big moments, but he does it a lot more than Josh Allen does. So this one being 3.5, I'll take it. It'd be great if it was 3, but 3.5, I'm not worried about that.
Dan,
so I think that both of these offenses are great. I think that both of these defenses are good. So I'm looking at the over. I do not think that either of these quarterbacks shrink from big moments, except maybe Josh Allen a little because he bounced that ball that should have beat the Dolphins. But also, it's really hot it was like 90 degrees, and I guess that's really hot if you're from Buffalo. So and I guess maybe Christian Wilkins violated them earlier in the game, and he was still a little traumatized from that exchange. So that's my Josh Allen take there. I think maybe nobody will touch him where on the doll during this game. So he'll play better.
I ain't following you on that one.
Maybe nobody will touch him on the doll on this one, but Lamar Jackson is like the Ravens are one of the best offenses in the league, and Lamar Jackson accounts for 89% of it. So I'm not going to say that he chokes at all anywhere or does anything. He's one of the best players. He might be the best player in the NFL. So I'm just going to say that over. I'm rooting for points, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think the over is a fine play. I think they're both going to score. Baltimore is – it depends how good Buffalo's defense plays, but Lamar Jackson is a freak. He scores a lot of points. He may shrink away in the smaller moments, but Josh Allen's record in one-score games is like astonishingly bad. Like I think he's like 1-7, and that's just because Buffalo goes out there and just puts it on teams and like blows them out early. So that's something to take away there too.
So Josh Allen in his entire career has played 8 one-score games. That's probably because he just doesn't have a whole lot of experience.
Something like that. It's crazy. I saw the stat. I
saw it too. And I was like, man, he's only played 8 I feel like Dolphins play 8 one-score games every week.
I feel like the NFL has like every NFL team has 8 one-score games a season. I was shocked by that. That's how good he's been in Buffalo. A couple games we don't have a play on. Jacksonville, Philly, and Chargers, Houston. We kind of debated it, going Chargers or Houston. Davis Mills at home kind of effect. And I don't know if Justin Herbert is okay in the ribs. He made one of the best throws I've ever seen.
Oh, man, that was so good.
Holy crap, he was on the run like.
If you haven't seen the video, let's post it on Twitter or something. That was so good.
Unbelievable. Also, kind of like Jacksonville in this spot.
I wanted to bet Jacksonville so bad. It was the hook that got me the 6.5. If it got to 7, I was gonna give it out. And when it gets to 7 at some point, if it doesn't get to 7, I'm gonna buy the hook and bet it. But that's where I'm at on this game.
If the Jags cover this one, go ahead and pencil them in for a playoff win.
Just to cover, not win, because they're a 6.5 dog. Wow.
The Eagles are super good. I think I shit on them.
They are.
At least once, if not twice, on the podcast already. But the offense is legitimate. The defense is good to borderline great when they want to be. Jacksonville in this Doug Peterson offense, we're talking like week 4, right? So they've got a lot of time to grow as the season goes on, and they've looked really good. And that performance against the Chargers was a masterpiece. So if the Jags can hang with the Eagles, they're winning the division and they're winning the playoff game.
So I was up at my brother-in-law's farm, or Austin's brother-in-law's farm, watching the Dolphins game, and I was texted Rod. You guys all kind of know Rod, right? About the Eagles while the Dolphins were going back and forth with the Bills, and it was weird to be texted Rod about the Eagles while I was watching the Dolphins, and we're both good. It's weird. It's just a weird transaction to be making. I know the Eagles won the Super Bowl a little while back, but it's just traditionally we've both been not great for a while.
Yeah. What's that like?
Both good at the same time. Yeah.
Andy, we are heading to Indy here. You've got to play on Tennessee, Indy. What you got?
Yeah, I'm taking Tennessee plus the points. You kind of have to ignore Indy's last week result to buy into this. They beat Kansas City, who everybody considers to be, one of the best teams in the league. But that was a little bit of a fraudulent win. There were some penalties that helped them out at the end. If you don't get those penalties, they probably don't win. Also, Kansas City missed a field goal, where if they make that field goal, this game goes to overtime. And I'm not sure I buy that Indy can beat them in overtime.
Mahomes and the enemy got it a little bit heated going into halftime because the Chiefs had a chance to go drive and get a score late, and they just ran the clock out. And there's a little bit of back and forth, a little drama there. So, yeah, missed opportunities for the Chiefs.
I did not see that, but that goes right in line with what I'm saying. Like I'm not gonna suddenly upgrade Indy a ton because of that game last week. I've been low on Indy the whole season, and I've been high on Tennessee. So if I'm getting points with Tennessee, like I said, kind of have to ignore the result from last week when Indy beat Kansas City. But other than that, I like Tennessee getting 3.
Yeah, I think both those teams are not as bad as their records indicate. And I do think Tennessee, if Tennessee hasn't won a game, I think.
They beat Las Vegas.
They won this weekend.
Oh, they did, right?
Yeah, they beat Vegas.
And they should have beat the Giants in week 1.
It was rough because Vegas had opportunities to come back, and they just kept shit in the bed. So.
Yeah, that division kind of stinks, right? Like, I was high on Indy, and I'm clearly wrong. I thought Tennessee was not going to be that great, and we'll find out. And maybe Jacksonville's the team, right? Maybe they are the side that
Jacksonville's
to watch.
good.
Yeah, like I loved watching them the past couple of days. They put the spur to the Chargers, and I understand that Herbert's hurt, but I couldn't believe the result.
Everyone talks about the AFC South being the worst division in football, and I don't think that's going to be the case by the end of the season. I think Tennessee and Indy make it a more competitive race. I think Jacksonville ends up at the front of that race, but I think there's going to be at least 1 or 2 divisions that are worse. I think the NFC East already is worse.
Awful.
So,
and even Houston's been more competitive than a lot of people thought they'd be.
It's true.
Yeah, shockingly competitive because I would have put them to be the worst team in the NFL, and they aren't going to be. So,
Andy, let's stick with you. Jets and Steelers. Do you have a play in that one?
Yeah, I'm taking the under here. It's under 41.5 right now, and it's a low number. So it kind of stinks. You have to hold your nose a little bit for this one, but neither of these teams have good offenses. Again, sorry, Joey. It's just the truth of the matter. We talked a little while about if Mitch Trubisky's time is limited. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. I'll be way more interested to watch this team if they bench him and move on to Kenny Pickett. But until that happens, I think both of these offenses are very limited, and I think it'll be a defensive battle. I don't exactly plan to watch a ton of it, but I think it'll be low scoring.
I think you're going to watch some because it's going to end up being in the red zone because the game is going to be like 14-17, like 14-15 for some reason going into the fourth quarter. It's going to be really close. Your logic is really good. And I was following your logic for the same reason, for the same bet I'm going to make. I understand there's going to be ramifications for the bet I make in a second, but I think you've got to take the Jets plus 3.5.
Drink.
I'm going to do this first. You want me to tell you?
No, Chug now. If you take the Jets, and I have a Chuggy, I'm telling you to drink right then every time. It's never not going to happen if I have a Chuggy and you take the Jets. Period.
You're going into the mustard field and you're taking the Jets as dog.
The hook is important here. Zach Wilson is coming back this week. I think that his mobility will make them better. And then take it easy there. Get your head out of your and if Trubisky doesn't start and Pickett starts, I don't think it changes shit. I'm still in for plus 3.5. I think equally Pittsburgh's offense is in trouble. I kind of like it on the money line too. I think it may be something to ponder there going into Pittsburgh, but I think the play here is plus 3.5.
Okay.
I disagree with you, Matt.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm not making a bet, but I am glad Zach Wilson's back. We didn't get to talk about Marcus Freeman this week, so I'm glad Zach Wilson's back.
All right, let's go from one tough city in Pittsburgh to another tough city in Detroit. We got Seattle coming into town. Al, you got to play.
Yeah, you guys watched Minnesota Detroit this past week?
I did. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Sorry, Al.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch? Have you guys watched any Lions game over the past 38 years?
They all end just like that. They all end just
like
like
Thanksgiving. I've seen those.
I've watched a lot of them, and they don't usually end up with Detroit winning by a touchdown or more. So they're 6.5-point favorites. Bringing in the Geno Smith Seattle Seahawks. I am taking the points. I think Seahawks cover. I think Seahawks money line is a play too. I think that when I saw these lines, first thing I did was take Cardinals Seahawks money line and parlayed it.
So I think Al is being an anti-homer here, and I am going to. Geno Smith has been good for us still. We talked about this, I believe, in week 3. He was good for one half of football, and I was overrating that one half of football. And still, now we're in week 5, and he's been good for one half of football. So I think you're overrating Seattle here.
Danny, let me see if this can sway you. Okay. Amon-Ra St. Brown, which is the Lions' main top receiver, got hurt in the last game. He still played through it, but he's got an injury he's dealing with. DeAndre Swift sprained his shoulder and re-aggravated his ankle injury and is probably not going to play. The Lions' only good safety tore his Achilles last week, and he is done for the season. And they still have 3 offensive linemen out.
Yeah, it sucks when your coach makes your guys go 1,000% on every play in practice and in the game, right? They might not make it very far after 1 or 2 games. I mentioned that.
Yeah.
Is this gonna be the Man Campbell argument again?
Yeah.
But no, what I'm saying is Geno Smith sucks, and I'm sorry KJ Osborne beat you guys last week, but yeah, I don't think that Seattle's gonna come.
I mean, I would be happy to lose my bet.
Yeah. So, you know what's great? Detroit's had a top 5 offense through the first few weeks with Jared Goff manning.
I know it's weird.
It's awesome.
But I didn't.
It's been really exciting.
I started this argument not knowing this piece about DeAndre Swift being out, which is a huge thing. So maybe never mind. Sorry.
Yeah. It doesn't look like a spot where Lions are going to win by a touchdown or more.
Without him, I don't think that they'll win by a touchdown.
Or you don't think they'll score a touchdown or more?
No, they'll score. They'll score, but anyway.
Andy, did you have something to add?
I just don't really want to bet on Seattle. I think that's probably the right side getting that many points, especially with all the Detroit injuries that Al outlined. But I don't want to bet. I don't want to put my hard-earned money on Geno Smith, so I'm going to pass.
Well, Andy, on this strategy then, the Lions love to take a 2-score lead and then put the brakes on and let teams back in. So maybe keep an eye out for an early Lions lead and then take your Seahawks.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Well, Andy, you don't like betting on a bad team, so let's take you to Chicago versus the Bears. What do you have in Chicago? You like
He's taking less points with a
Chicago is 2-1, my friend, and they are.
How?
That's a great question. I'm not sure.
They won one.
Justin Fields has completed 30 passes this year. I don't understand how they're Anyway, go on.
This line was Chicago +3. It's not up right now because we're recording this on Monday night right after the Giants played. It'll come back up tomorrow. If this comes back at a lower number, I don't like it anymore. I want at least a field goal with Chicago. And after the Giants lost, it is possible that this number comes back lower. But if it comes back at +3 or higher, I'm taking the points. The Giants aren't good either. They shouldn't have won that first week against Tennessee. They lost tonight. I don't think the Giants are good. I'm definitely not betting on Daniel Jones. You can talk all you want about the Chicago quarterback Fields, but do you think Daniel Jones is better? Right?
No, I don't.
So I'm actually taking the better quarterback in this game, even if he's not very good.
I don't talk shit about Justin Fields. I just don't know why he hasn't been better so far. I guess it's because mostly their offense sucks and they have no receivers.
He has nobody to throw to.
Yeah. But Daniel Jones is as good of an athlete as Justin Fields is, or better. That's a shocking thing to say, right? But Daniel Jones can
When you say
can
that,
run.
all I see is him in the wide open field, just falling flat on his face. You guys remember that?
Yes,
What
I
should have been a
yes, that was
touchdown
funny.
run?
That was funny.
Yeah.
That was funny.
You're gonna say
He's
that man
he's
is
a
an
bigger klutz.
athlete?
He's a bigger klutz, but he's an athlete, and he's a real athlete.
Did
Fair
David
enough.
Montgomery get hurt? Is he? I thought I saw an injury, or maybe he's day to day. With that team stinks so bad on offense. Like I'm good on you, but I don't see this. I would bet the other side in New York, and that's not a great New York team by any means. Chicago's not very good. But dude, I hope you win it. I'm not betting it, so let's go. Let's go Bears. Let's get a money line win. Washington, Dallas. The lines aren't up yet. I think Dallas will be a 3-point favorite. Washington Carson Wentz has been bad the past couple games. Came out gunslinging. I don't know if anyone has anything to add there before we get into the 4:00 slate.
Yeah,
Carson
I
Wentz
mean,
put up fantasy points in week 1 and hasn't really done much since.
No,
I would lean Washington only because I don't really trust Dallas's offense, and I think Washington, if you get Carson Wentz on a good day, can move the ball. I don't know. That's what the numbers say. I don't feel good enough to play it, obviously.
If Pollard's healthy and playing, I'd bet Dallas.
Pollard's been good, man.
Yeah.
Zeke can eat on the bench while Pollard plays. Let's go to the 4:00 window. We'll start in Carolina, where Arizona comes in to Carolina. Al, what you got?
Yeah, there's not a chance there's not a snowball's chance in hell I'd ever take Carolina on this one. Arizona, while I am not particularly high on them, is way better at every position. I don't care that it's in Carolina. It could be like gross weather, but I would still take Arizona 1,000 times out of 1,000.
Yeah, the line puzzles me. That's the only thing that works against it. I think Arizona is the better team, like by a lot. Danny, what you got?
Oh, I didn't place this beforehand because I didn't see it. Sorry. I'm I'm gonna bet it. Yeah, I'm gonna take Arizona plus 1.5. The only one of my only live bets that I lost last week was I took Arizona plus 390 at the half when they were only down 7, and they didn't end up doing much in the second half. But Kyler Murray is still a good player. He just didn't make a lot of plays last week, and I think he's gonna make up for that this week against a bad Carolina team.
They had a bunch of injuries in the middle of that game, and that probably impacted it. Yeah, and they did not play particularly well. And Arizona's been playing this incredibly dangerous style of taking big deficits early and trying to make up for them. Andy, what you got?
A couple of things. First is that makes 3 of you on this play, which has been a curse for us. Up until last week, we broke the curse. We had 3 of us on the Ravens against New England, and the Ravens beat them, as we all know. So we've broken that curse, so hopefully that's not a curse anymore. So having 3 of you on that, hopefully we can win this one too. And then the other thing is I saw on Twitter this week, somebody said that Kyler Murray, when he scrambles, looks like a toddler who stole his parents' phone. I don't know if you guys saw that tweet, but it's really funny to watch him scramble after you see that, especially because all of us have kids, so we all know exactly what that looks like.
Absolutely, yeah.
You can't unsee it.
Yep.
Oh, that's good. He really does look like that.
And just speaking on trap lines, I mean, sometimes the line looks like a trap, and it is, and sometimes you get the Eagles blowing out the Commanders by 16, or the Jaguars beating the Chargers by 28. So I don't know. Even if it looks trappy, I still am gonna hang with Cardinals.
Yeah. Well, those normally look trappy. Yeah, you're right. I'm still gonna bet it. It's the only bet to make. I can't bet Carolina. Their defense could be good.
Yeah, what am I going to bet Carolina as favorites against Arizona and then watch them get blown out and be like, well, the numbers suggested I was on the right side. I'm crying in my beer. I do that shit with the Lions enough. I can just give me the better team. Like,
Exactly. Give me the better team with the points. Exactly, Al. Give me the better team with the points. Easy.
Agreed. We're in. So we got a 3-piece on that. Let's go to Green Bay, where New England and the Mac Jones list. Mac Jones is playing. Patriots come in to face Aaron Rodgers. Al, what you got? Big spread here.
He's
Yeah,
taking the better
so-
quarterback. Al's taking the better quarterback in this one.
Yeah, who was even backing up Mac Jones?
Oh, it's got to be Brian
I think
Hoyer.
it's still Brian
I hope-
Hoyer.
I'm hoping it's Brian Hoyer.
I think I saw that today. But their third string quarterback is Bailey Zappi, who was at Western Kentucky last year, and I'd actually be way more interested to see what he's got. But I don't think it's going to be him. I think it's going to be Brian Hoyer.
10.5 points is a lot for any NFL team to cover. The Packers have not been particularly explosive on offense. Their defense has not been. Well, the defense has been all right, but they put up 7 points against the Vikings. They put up 27 on the Bears and 14 on the Bucks. So, what are you expecting out of them? 17, 20? So, do the Packers or do the Patriots score 10 points?
Holding the Bucks to 14 is pretty good. Holding the Bucks to 14 is pretty good.
That Bucks team the other day had no wide receivers one at all. Like they had Cameron Brate.
I told y'all, without Chris Godwin, that offense.
You were right. Yes, I actually re-listened to that today, and I was like, "Damn, I'll hit that shit on the head."
No.
So yeah, I mean, obviously this game looks a lot. This bet is a lot better if Mac Jones is playing. But yeah, even if he's not, I think it's going to be tough for Green Bay to cover. In the NFL, there's not really any reason to. You know what I mean? If they're up 12 points in the fourth quarter, there's no reason for them to stop New England. They want to let them, take 10 minutes and drive downfield to kick a field goal, and then they cover, and the game's over. So, I don't know. Prime ripe for a backdoor cover if it even gets to that.
Al, are you saying that that's too many points? Is that what I'm hearing?
You know what, Andy? That is exactly what I'm saying. And you know
too
what,
many points?
Andy, you have too many beers. Will you chug one for me? Are we still doing that? You guys?
I will. Thanks, bud.
It feels kind of rude to do that to Andy when he's just like commiserated on our shared logic. But...
No,
it's delicious. Thank you.
All right. The final, a small 4:00 schedule this week.
There's just 3 games.
10 1:00 games? Damn. Or like 9 1:00 games and only 3 in the 4:00 window.
It's because of that London game.
That's what it is. I'm like, it's confusing to me. So the final game is we got Denver going into Vegas. Who wants to go first? Let's go Danny first. What you got?
So I don't know what you guys are going to do, but I know what my pick is. I'm going to take a guy who wears makeup near his eyes because I wear makeup around my eyes because of my eyebrow issue. So
what's your eyebrow issue? For those who haven't listened to that college podcast.
I think we need to make them listen.
I don't know if you guys know, but I forgot to switch the clip on my clipper from manscaping to beardscaping. And then trim my eyebrow with the zero, and it went away. And then my wife now has to paint it on. So, yes, I have one eyebrow right now.
I think using the same trimmer for manscaping and on your face is very ballsy.
Oh, you use it doesn't matter. I don't want to go into this. Danny, what else you got?
Just -2 eyeliner. Makeup on my eyes. That was all.
Al, what you got? Oh, wait a second. Because you shaved off your eyebrow, you can chug this beer.
Cheers.
Al, what you got?
I am all the way the fuck out on the goddamn Broncos.
They won last night.
Nathaniel Hackett is the trashiest, garbagest, worst coach in the history of any sport. He's trash. Russell Wilson, for as douchey and shitty and not human as he is as a person, is exceptionally good at throwing a football.
He is.
Yes, he is.
And it's like, this is like watching like an overweight model like walk the runway in heels she hasn't worn before, and you're like, I don't know. It's like you can just see it could
How
be
does she
better.
get the hot dog from the window at the gas station?
That's the important question.
Kirk Ferentz. Kirk Ferentz is the judge.
When
It's- I don't
Al
know.
takes a deep breath and puts his hands together like this and leans
Oh.
back, I just know we're about to get a gem of hot dogs or
Like-
overweight models in high heels. Or
It's like having like a German Shepherd as a watchdog, but it's got.
But there's a hot dog.
That's bad.
I
I don't know.
always
It's
think
like
Al-
having
I think I
a
put
dog.
too much pressure on you there, Al.
I think Al throws darts against a board that has random words, and then he's just like, okay, I gotta figure this one out.
It's a Mad Lib. It's like Mad Libs.
It really is.
Oh,
So,
But it was
Yeah.
so good with the Kurt Ferentz hot dog 7-Eleven one. That it just worked so good the first time.
Yeah.
He's got to keep trying.
it's just sad watching him like be so hamstrung by just a garbage offense, and I don't want anything to do with the Broncos, and the Raiders are not that bad. They've had a couple bad luck outings. They're at home. Even if the Broncos have a good defense that has kept them in these games, I think the Raiders figured it out.
So who would have thought that Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf were good?
they were, and I haven't looked at the Seattle stats, but I'm assuming they're not crushing it now with Geno Smith at the quarterback position.
Were they good, or were they a product of Russ?
Or is everyone good as a team? Teams win championships, not Russell Wilson, not DK Metcalf. That's it. I wish you guys had a beer to give me now for my douchey statement. Andy, what you got?
Yeah, I'm actually with these guys. So that's three of us. Hopefully, we don't end at three. But I thought that Denver last year was a quarterback away from being a contender. I thought that they had everything else in place. They've got a couple of good wide receivers in Judy and Sutton. Got a couple of good running backs in Gordon and Javonte Williams. They've got a decent defense. I thought all they needed to add was the quarterback, but for some reason it's not working. And I don't know if it's because Russ is washed or because Nathaniel Hackett is all the terrible things that Al said about him. But
Could it be because Von Miller's in Buffalo?
It could be. It could be for sure.
I would say, Andy, they made one addition too many, and it was adding Hackett.
Yeah, maybe, but something is not working, which is very obvious. And until that starts to gel or click, I'm betting against Denver every week. And at some point, they may click and turn it around, and I'll lose a bet that week. But until they prove it to me, I'm not trusting it.
Look, I think Denver's going to find it, and it's going to be soon, and then they're going to be formidable. I also don't think Las Vegas deserves to be 0-3. Right? Like, I know Josh McDaniels came in there. They had everything going on last year with Gruden and Mayock and Henry Ruggs and everyone. They had a kind of clean house for multiple different controversial reasons, and may take a little time for the team to acquiesce. I don't think this team should be 0-3. I definitely don't think that team is bad enough to be 0-4. I think Denver will find it, but I'm hoping it's not this week. Let's go. I'm joining you, boys. Let's do the Cyclone.
Cyclone! I also just thought of something while you were talking, Matt. This is McDaniel's second stint as a head coach, if I'm not mistaken, and wasn't the first one in Denver.
Yeah, it was. He was pretty bad, though.
The McDaniel's revenge game.
Maybe it's just Denver that's the problem.
Maybe.
Peyton made something happen there.
Peyton was bad in Denver.
No, he was. That's
actually, he was really good the first year and bad once his neck broke.
Yeah, so I think the only play is I think Las Vegas has to get a win, and hopefully, I bet you next week or the week after, we all fade Denver and they become a wagon. start running
Here.
everyone down.
I got the Broncos schedule pulled up, and since I think we got a little bit of time here, let's just run through this. You let me know if you think any of these are obvious wins. So Raiders this week, we already decided that's not. They host the Colts.
Indianapolis on the road is a weird,
Pick them.
different kind of shit show.
Okay.
I'm down
At
on the
Chargers.
Colts. That's winnable.
At
At
Chargers.
Chargers. That's
Not
it.
if Herbert's healthy.
If Herbert's okay, no.
Hosting Jets.
Yeah.
That's a win.
At Jaguars.
No.
No.
Yeah.
At Titans.
Pick them.
Yeah.
It's possible that they've gelled things by then. Maybe.
Hosting Raiders. At Panthers. At Ravens. Like, there are some winnable games here, but this is not a team that is going to be competitive.
They're not going over, but they got like 4 wins in them.
Yeah.
I mean, they have 2 wins already for what it's worth, but like, I don't see, are you talking we're talking about Denver's schedule, right? That's what that was?
Yeah.
Yeah. They have 2 wins already. I think they're gonna get to 8 or 9 wins. They just haven't found it yet.
They're not getting to 9 wins, Matt. I will do it. Whatever bet you want right now on 9 wins.
They're not going to win any. So
they're going to
alone limits you to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
The
7.
Denver
8,
team we've seen
4.
so far, it will not win any division games. But
I don't think you're going to see this team in a couple weeks. I think it's going to be a much better. Cortland Sutton is good. Jerry Jeudy's good. I don't know what the hell's happened to Jerry Jeudy in this offense. For the fantasy fans out there, that has been a disaster so far. He's going to find the rhythm with these guys, and they're going to be fine. I don't think they're going to be great, but I think they'll be fine.
I'm going to be fading them until that happens.
That's fine. I'm fading them right now. I'm buying in Las Vegas.
I think we've all agreed here. I don't know why you guys are arguing. We all agree.
Cyclone.
Just fell out of the chair. All right, let's talk.
That's what a cyclone would do to you.
Now, night games we'll send on the TikToks.
So I've done a terrible job managing TikTok the last couple of weeks, and I apologize. I will send over the last a couple of the weekend plays. Sunday and Monday will be out there along with our college football round robins and a couple of teasers or a couple of plays that we like on the weekend for college football. So Saturday, if you want Kansas City, Tampa Bay, you want Rams in San Francisco, it is coming your way. Closer to the weekend, go to TikTok and get it. Any underdog candidates we'd like from the NFL weekend?
Yeah. Miami, Atlanta.
I like Atlanta. I like that one too.
Well,
I don't like any of these enough for round robins, but I do like a couple of money lines.
Yeah.
Andy, you got anyone?
You guys already told me you don't like it with the points, so you're not going to like it on the money line. But I think Chicago is a potential there as well.
No, I do. Yeah. I don't know. For some reason,
I hate the Chicago with the points.
Just throw all the money at Arizona, all of it.
Andy, I just don't understand why with like 11 1 o'clock games, that's the one you want to pay attention to.
Oh, I'm just gonna have red zone on. I left Scott Hansen to serve me. It's like going to a really fancy restaurant where the chef just like serves the specials. There's not actually a menu. That's what Scott Hansen is.
When Scott Hansen does that, he doesn't give you any Chicago Giants. 0 Chicago Giants.
Perfect. Like I don't care if it's a good game. He'll
Scott
show it to
Hansen
me.
is the naked model that you eat sushi off of. Yeah.
Perfect, Al. That's perfect.
What else? Oh, let's do ChuggieBets. Al, what's your favorite bet of the week?
Ooh. It feels rude to pick the ones that we're all on together. So let me go.
No, do it. Do it. Just do it.
Yeah, pick your favorite one, man.
Yeah, I'll take Arizona plus 1.5.
Okay. Danny,
We're
what
all
you
on
got?
the same ones.
Well, mine is the Monday night game. You want me to do that now, or should I pick a different one?
Sure.
Rams. I believe it was like +2, but I like it on the money line. So
Rams to win, but we'll give you the +2.5 as time of recording. Andy, what you got?
I am taking the under in Jets at Steelers, under 41.5.
All right. You got
Might
that.
be sweaty and ugly, but money
I
spends
am
this
going
way.
to also hang out with Al on Arizona +1.5. Just seems too easy. I feel like a crazy person. All right, everyone, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate all your love and your concern, and that Joey's here with us today. It's awesome. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and follow us. Ring all the bells and do everything you can. We appreciate it. We make this content for you, kind of. We also make it for ourselves. So for Andy, Al, Danny, this has been the NFL Podcast. Cheers.
good night,
Cheers.
Joey.
Cheers, guys.